Today is March 2nd, 2026, and I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor, and I'm back today with you guys for another episode. I know it's been a minute since I last uh, made an episode on the J.A.T side, but I am back today. My last episode was back in early January. If you listened to that one, that was just an update on what was to come, what to expect with me being at that time in the middle of basketball. So now it's March, and I'm out of basketball. Our season ended last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, in a tough 3 overtime loss in the second round. But we had a great season still, regardless of that game and the outcome. We fought literally to the last second. But I might have to make an episode on just that game, later, maybe this month or maybe next month. But that was a crazy game. Definitely the craziest game that I've played in my high school career. So that was definitely one way to end my high school basketball career. But we got a lot to cover today. It's been a minute. So as you can tell by the title, we're celebrating 4 years on the J.A.T side. It's crazy to say that, 4 years ago, I was in 8th grade. One day after I turned 14 years old, and I decided to start up this podcast. And I did not imagine, when I was starting up the J.A.T side, that it would, eventually grow to what it is now. It's still it's crazy to me. In the last episode, I talked about kind of what we did in 2025, what you guys allowed me to do, my listeners, my supporters, whom I greatly appreciate, each and every one of you. All my followers on social media platforms. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. The reach that my podcast had in 2025 was absolutely amazing. I went over, like I said, in that last episode, but I hit 11. We hit 11 countries. The J.A.T's, I hit 11 countries. So just that alone is remarkable, to say the least. So thank you guys once again for that and your support of the J.A.T side. But yeah, 4 years. 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 days ago, 4 years and 2 days ago was the 4-year anniversary of the J.A.T side, of the beginning of the J.A.T side. So looking forward to another, several years of the J.A.T side. And you guys have seen me grow on here from, being 14 and now being 18. So I can't wait to continue to, make great content and continue to grow. So another topic that we got to cover, it's Women's History Month. I didn't make any episodes last month for Black History Month. In the last couple of years, I had done something for Black History Month. So I still want to recognize that. Black History Month is obviously in February, but it's not limited to celebrating Black History Month only in February. You can celebrate Black History Month, in every month. There's obviously a month designated for Black History Month, but doesn't limit the impact and doesn't limit the legacy that our Black heroes have left on our country. So, but with that being said, it is Women's History Month. It started yesterday, March 1st, and it obviously goes throughout the entire month of March. So this year for Women's History Month, I'll be having some guests on, some, women, that I personally know. I'll be sharing more details on that soon, but we'll have some special guests for Women's History Month. And I'm looking forward to celebrating all month. But for today, I have a fun fact, and that is that on this day in 1903, the Martha Washington Hotel opened in New York City as the first hotel built exclusively for women. It was developed by the Women's Hotel Company, and it provided a safe, respectable, and independent residence for professional women, featuring a restaurant, library, and pharmacy catering to their specific needs at the time. So that's just a fun fact for Women's History Month from today, March 2nd. Like I said, I will be sharing more information soon on the guests that I'll be having on this month. So stay on the lookout for that on social media over the course of the next, I'd say, week or so. And big, really, really big announcement, the lunar eclipse. We got the lunar eclipse. We're having a rare blood moon lunar eclipse tomorrow on March the 3rd. And you will be able to see it in Georgia. This rare blood moon lunar eclipse, you'll be able to see it tomorrow in Georgia, or if you're in the Atlanta area. The best time to see it is going to be 6:33 a.m. That's going to be the maximum eclipse or the peak of the blood moon color according to gpb.org. But the totality will begin at 6:04 a.m. when the moon first turns red. And then a little bit earlier, about an hour before that, at 4:50 a.m., if you're up that early, the partial eclipse will begin, and you'll start to see Earth's shadow creeping across the moon. But the actual eclipse will begin at 3:44 a.m., but it won't look any different than it usually would. And then the totality will end at 7:02 a.m. The moon will be at or below the horizon by this point. So it says best spot for a good view, according to GPB, is it says the farther west you drive, the better your odds of catching more of totality before the moon set. It says find spots with clear, unobstructed views of the western sky, like an open field, west-facing parking lot, or a spot along the river with a clear sight line. You don't need any glasses or anything like that to view this, because you won't be able to see the sun. So it's safe to view with the naked eye, and then binoculars or telescopes will obviously enhance your view of the total lunar eclipse. So, and it's not just only obviously will not be seen just in Georgia. It's going to be across North and Central America, Australia, and even parts of Asia. Obviously the times will be a little bit different depending on where you are. So that is just a little bit of information about the total lunar eclipse that is happening tomorrow morning on March 3rd. So I don't in my lifetime remember observing a lunar eclipse. I know I've seen a couple of solar eclipses, but I have not, from my memory, seen seen a total lunar eclipse. So it's gonna be interesting. I will be up probably about 6 a.m. tomorrow, so I'll be looking outside to see if I can see the red moon or the blood moon, as they like to call it. So yeah, if you're big into eclipses and things of that nature, then tomorrow be on the lookout for that lunar eclipse. With the totality starting about 6:04 a.m. if you're in the Atlanta area, and then the maximum totality will be seen at 6:33 a.m. with totality ending at 7:02 a.m. So very excited for that, to see how that ends up turning out for tomorrow morning. And one more thing about the lunar eclipse, the next one won't be until I think late 2028. Yeah, it says this will be the last total lunar eclipse until December 2028. Although there is a partial lunar eclipse scheduled for August 27th or 28th of this year. But if you're looking to see a total lunar eclipse, this will be the last one for over 2 years. Actually, over 2.5 years. So take advantage of the opportunity if you are big or, interested into things of this nature. So that's my info on the lunar eclipse. And now, obviously it's the month of March. I play basketball, so some of you may know where I'm going. March Madness, it's officially, not officially, but it's almost officially that time. Conference play is, wrapping up right now, and it will be wrapping up over the next a week or so, with conference tournaments going on and things of that nature. We got Selection Sunday is set for March 15th, which is 13 days away. So that's going to be the day where the bracket for March Madness is revealed, and everybody's seeds for the 68 teams who are going to have an opportunity to compete for a national championship. I say 68, not 64, because of the 4 teams who are in the first 4. So obviously those games decide, who gets into the 64 team field, but technically you do have 68 teams with the opportunity to win a national championship. Obviously last year we had Florida as our national champions. And actually I want to just look up real quick how many first 4 teams have won the whole March Madness tournament. I'll say women and men, just to see, because I don't know. Wow, and this is crazy. So no team that has played in the NCAA men's or women's first 4 round has ever won the national championship. The furthest any first 4 team has advanced is the Final Four, achieved by VCU in 2011 and UCLA in 2021, both as number 11 seeds. And in 2023, DU became the first number 16 seed from the first 4 to win a round of 64 game, defeating number 1 Purdue. And no women's team from the first 4 has advanced past the round of 32. So that is, I did not know that. I thought there would at least be one team that has went from the first 4 and went all the way, at least, men's or women's, not just men's. It was extended. The first four was extended to the women's side in 2022. So I know the women haven't really had that many years with the first four. Let's see when it was introduced for the men's side. Introduced for the men's March Madness. See what it says. So, first four was introduced in 2011 for the men. So it was introduced 11 years earlier. So it's been, what? This is the 15th year. So this is going to be the 15th year for the men that they've had the first four. So the 68 team format. And the women, this is only their 5th year. This would be the 5th year that they've had the 68 team format. So we'll see. Could this be the year? Could this be the year that a team from the first four goes all the way and wins the whole tournament? I would definitely be interested to see that. Obviously, it's a long shot, but honestly, every team has a long shot in some aspect, because March Madness is one of the most unpredictable tournaments in sports, not just college sports, or I would say all sports, like period, like professional included. So I'm very excited for March Madness, being an athlete, basketball player, obviously. But it's one of the best times of the year. Going to be a lot of great basketball on, starting with the conference tournaments and then going into March Madness when it's really win or go home. But some teams have to play their way into the tournament, honestly. Or some teams are fighting for positioning, better seating. So, yeah. This has been a pretty, excuse me, it's been a pretty action-packed episode. A lot of things that I covered today. Once again, I want to say thank you to all my listeners, all my supporters, for, whether you came along on this journey from, this year, whether you came along this year, whether you have been here since day one. I appreciate all of you guys. So this is 4 years, celebrating 4 years on the J.A.T side, but I look forward to many more. So without further ado, that's going to be the end of today's episode. This month is going to be really, really, really packed with some great content, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So until next time, before I do the outro, I want to give a word. Let's do a code word. If you made it to the end of this episode, wherever you're listening to this, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, or any other Apple Podcast, even whatever streaming platform you're on, the code word, if you made it to the end of today's episode, the code word is going to be, let's go with 4. We're going to go with 4 for 4 years on the J.A.T side. So if you made it to the end of this episode, comment 4. And I appreciate you if you did make it to the end of today's episode. Now, without further ado, we're going to end this episode. Until next time, I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor, and I'm out. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of this Monday.